Welcome back to the channel. I'm Colin and this is a review of the Acous NA20 IEMs. It's a set of dynamic driver IEMs that retail for around $120. The NA20 features their own newly developed dynamic driver with a new motor structure and beryllium-plated diaphragm. These are also really easy to drive. I'll list the specs on the screen now if you want to take a look. Now let's talk about the unboxing experience. Acous has put a lot of effort into the unboxing experience. So here's the box the NA20 comes in. The packaging is really nice. The box opens up like a book and it's held together by magnets. On the right, we see the NA20 on a foam disc that's made to look like a CD. Underneath the CD, there's the cables and a set of silicone tips. On the left, we have an instruction booklet. Underneath that, we have a zippered case. There's a 1/4-inch adapter included stored inside the case, which is not often included with IEMs nowadays. Now onto the build of the NA20. The NA20 has a polycarbonate shell that has a frosted finish. There's a decorative aluminum ring around the faceplate. The nozzles of the NA20 is made from aluminum as well. The NA20 uses a 2-pin QDC cable connection, which isn't my favorite, but it works. You can see this tiny black part inside the shell. According to the manufacturer, it's actually there to reduce resonances and control the air pressure to improve sound quality. The cable is a 6N OFC twisted 2-pin cable that's terminated with a mini jack. The Y-split is made out of rubber and it's made to look like a guitar pick. The NA20 is a very comfortable IEM. The size of the shells are smaller than most other IEMs and it's super lightweight. I would have no problem wearing these for long sessions. The isolation is very good for a dynamic driver IEM. There's a tiny bit of driver flex when you wear them, but it is minimal. Here's the frequency response graph of the NA20. I've linked it in the description below if you want to compare it to other IEMs I reviewed. The NA20 has a V-shaped tuning. There's a 10 decibel bass shelf that smoothly transitions into the mid-range. There's also quite a prominent peak at the 5K lower treble region. After testing the NA20 for a couple of days, I find that the NA20 to be a very technical and resolving set, especially for a single dynamic driver set. The separation is also really good, which I find impressive especially at this price. The bass of the NA20 is punchy and exciting. It also has really good sub-bass extension and will rumble when the track calls for it. The overall speed of the bass isn't really quick, but the driver control is very good. There isn't boominess in the bass, but it really slams. I find the bass to be really satisfying on the NA20, but it's not overdone to a point where the bass becomes muddy and bloated. With the NA20 being a V-shaped tuning, the mids will naturally sound recessed. Despite the recess in the mids, I still hear a lot of detail and separation in the mid-range. With some more vocal-oriented acoustic songs, the NA20 has very good clarity and is able to reproduce minute details in the singer's voice. Overall, the tonality on the vocals sounds full and is on the warmer side. The treble of the NA20 is on the aggressive side. The treble is boosted especially in the 5K region. It adds some bite to vocals and instruments like acoustic guitar plucks and electric guitar solos, which I enjoy. In most tracks, at moderate listening levels, the treble sounds really resolving and detailed, but it can sound bright if you like listening at loud volumes. The soundstage width on the NA20 is okay, not the widest among the price range, but it is really accurate and has good depth. I feel that the imaging is very good, especially compared to other dynamic driver sets in this price range. I think the resolution on the NA20 really helps with the imaging, and I think the pinpoint ability is above other dynamic driver IEMs that I tried around this price. I wanted to compare the NA20 to the Moritz Dragon because I feel that the NA20 has a very capable dynamic driver and it might be able to punch above its weight. Comparing the two, I think that the major difference is in the scale of the soundstage. The Dragon has a much more wider and deeper soundstage when compared to the NA20. The imaging is very good on both sets, but the Dragon just has a larger sense of scale. When comparing vocals, I feel that the NA20 has a bit more clarity and bite, perhaps due to the peak at the 5K region. Then I compared the NA20 to the SPA High-End Max. The immediate feeling I have comparing the two is that the SPA felt warmer and thicker, both in the mid-range and bass. In comparison, the NA20 felt more agile and has better control in the bass. The soundstage still feels slightly wider in the SPA, but the NA20 has better overall clarity. However, the NA20 can be a little harsh in the treble when comparing the two. For the cons of the NA20, I have summarized 2 points. First, the NA20 can be bright for some people. The NA20 has a V-shaped sound and the treble can be fatiguing for those who like to listen under loud volumes or those who are sensitive to sibilance. Second, the NA20 feels a bit plasticky. The NA20 does not scream build quality when you look at it. There's no problem with the build, but it feels less premium than other IEMs around this price range. In summary, I think the NA20 is a single dynamic driver IEM for fun listening. It has a very capable driver that is able to deliver nice and deep bass and crisp and detailed treble. However, it can also be a bit bright sounding for those who are sensitive to treble. So if you're someone looking for a fun sounding V-shaped IEM and you like having more bite and clarity in the upper frequency region, I think you will like the NA20. It is one of the most technical and detailed dynamic driver IEMs I've tried under $300. So this is the end of my review. Please let me know if you have any questions about the NA20. If you enjoyed this review, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.